welcome to Behind the Music for Daily Hope. Last week we started a new series called God Time, and we're focusing on the Lord's Prayer and what it's like to have this relationship with God, our Father. And we're focusing on prayer and how that affects us in our own personal lives. And so we're trying something new here at Victory. If you were here last week, you might have seen it get a little darker during Prelude, and you heard Pastor Todd suggest that we quiet our hearts and spend a little time in prayer as we get ready for worship. I know it's so great to come in and see our friends and have, oh, how was your week? What did you do? Fellowship and community is also such an important part of the Christian walk. But during this series especially, we're going to be taking some time to be still and to be quiet. Now, there's a story in the Old Testament about the prophet Elijah. You might remember it from back in your Sunday school days, where he was up there with all the prophets of Baal, and they were dancing and hoopla and all of this. Some of them were cutting. And then he called on God, and the fire came down and it burned up everything, and it was amazing. But then evil Queen Jezebel was none too pleased that her prophets had all been killed. And so Elijah fled, and he went away and he hid in a cave. And he and God had a bit of a fight. I did all these great things, and now here I am having to run away from my life. And so I want to read you the passage of what happened after that conversation. The Lord said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he put his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. So a gentle whisper. Have you ever been so filled with awe and wonder that you just couldn't even speak? Maybe you were out in nature and you saw something just so beautiful that you couldn't fully comprehend. I know I feel that every time I'm at the Grand Canyon. It's just so vast and so beautiful. It's really beyond my comprehension. You just have to stand there. Maybe it's at the birth of a new child where you're just like, wow. It kind of takes your breath away. You're speechless. One thing that my kids do at their school that I really like is they take quiet time in nature where they go out for 5 minutes and they can't talk and they close their eyes and they listen and then they journal about it. What did you hear? Birds? Did you hear the wind in the trees? What was it that you heard? I think so much time in our culture is filled with noise. We're scared of silence. We have elevator music and background hold music when we're on the phone, and we've got satellite radios in all of our cars, and we have 15 different platforms on our phone, Spotify and whatever, so we're always listening to a playlist. We get out of the car to go to the store, and there's music playing in the parking lot. We never experience silence. And so maybe we're missing a little bit of that awe and that wonder as we listen for the quietness that God might have for us. There's a great little hymn, little chorus actually, and it's based on Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God. So for these next few weeks as we're going into worship, we're going to be taking some time at the beginning. The lights are going to dim, and we're going to ask you to just be quiet and reverent. You can save your conversation. If it's really good, write it down so you don't forget. You can take it over to coffee hour afterwards. But just take a few minutes as you reflect and think about maybe what is God's still small voice saying for you today. So here I'm going to play for you. Reflect on this while you're at home. Be still and know that I am God.